Hello and welcome. This is the first of our short series of podcasts which explore ways to structure academic assignments. So we're looking at how to structure a basic formal essay. And part of this is writing your introduction. Now, if you already have substantial academic experience, you may find the advice given here a little too prescriptive, in which case please don't worry about this. This guide is intended as a sort of baseline expectation, outline and support people who perhaps don't have so much academic experience. And equally, if you do fall into that category and you're concerned about how you're going to structure your writing, I'm very aware student services run an excellent kind of range of workshops. So I'll be linking to them at the end of the main course page. So let's have a quick look then. Writing an introduction. What should an introduction do? Well, it should show your lecturer that you understand the assignment, that you've understood the course question and what it's asking you to do. And it shows how you're going to be approaching answering the question by signposting some of your structure, some of your content, a bit like a map. An introduction should be concise. Suggested here is 10% of the total word count, but I've seen excellent introductions that are even shorter than that. Ideally, what it should do is set the scene for your essay and for your main argument. And a little later on in this presentation, we'll discuss strategies to support with that, because of course your research is driving your argument. So it's not always necessary to write your introduction as the first thing that you set down pen to paper. Let's look at this idea of outlining your argument. Well, at Pick 2, we'll be asking you for your essays to include a thesis statement, because you have a very broad assignment brief here. So you actually sort of construct your own essay question. But for Pick 1, you have an essay question. And in it are various process words which, following your research, will support you by telling you what your assessor is looking for, what kind of information they're looking for. And process words are things like discuss or compare. So you outline the relationship of your content to the essay question in your introduction. So going back to this idea of understanding what the question is asking you to do, you probably, or you may need some support in this, and so at the end of this presentation there's a link to an Open University course programme which is free to join. You do have to join the Open University, but that's completely free, and it takes you through how to spot keywords in an assignment title. And you'll also find information on this kind of thing in various study skills books that are held in the college library. But what it's looking for is some idea of what the question's asking you to do. Is it asking you to compare two different artists or craftspeople? Is it asking you to compare two visual images, or to discuss, to sort of look at critically, to critically discuss is probably the kind of word that you're going to find in your Pick 1 essay assignments. So, okay, once you're sure that you understand the question and you've sort of shown that in the introduction, you need to start thinking about what you're going to be writing about and where each point will be made. And I'll come back to my earlier point here in that essay writing is a very holistic process. Possibly for GCSE, or even maybe for A-level, in certain subjects you're able to sit down and just write your essay out. But at this kind of level, when you're asked to do substantial research, this becomes much harder, because you may not know what your central argument is until you're midway through the research process. So if you try and sit down and kind of write your introduction about something that you don't really know what it's going to be about, this doesn't work. It just becomes woolly, and that isn't going to support your communication skills. So part of my advice here is you actually sort of don't write your introduction first. You maybe have a sort of bullet point list as part of your planning process, what might be in your introduction, but you actually leave writing the introduction until you've constructed the body of your essay. So, some further strategies. Do give yourself lots and lots of time to think about the assignment or the question you have to answer before diving in. You're going to have to be able to arrange your ideas logically to do well at Pick 1. And to do that, you'll need to both research and plan. So do write a plan, a concept map, or maybe a series of bullet points that outline what you wish to include in each paragraph of your essay. And what you include will be driven by your research. And don't be afraid to make changes. If you have written your introduction early, do feel free to go and edit it. You'll find when you're writing your PIC essays that you will find different parts of information as you go along within the essay writing process. And you might find right at the very end of the essay writing process, you find a new piece of information which changes your argument. That's absolutely fine. Just change your argument, but don't forget to edit your introduction accordingly if you've already written it. Right, some extra resources. The first one here from the University of North Carolina gives you more information on the purpose of introductions. And again, there's further great advice from the Royal Literary Fund's website. If you're concerned about deconstructing the question, then have a look at the information here. And if you're concerned about how to signpost to information within your assignment, there's some examples of signposting sentences here. And this is also a course which is quite useful when it comes to looking at body paragraphs, which will be our next short video. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.